Hey everybody, welcome to another exciting Arkham list video. Today we have a bit of a cool one, in my opinion. We're doing top 5 favorite player card art. So player card art or anything that is in your deck. So that includes the weaknesses and the personal cards of all the investigators.
But not the investigators themselves.
No.
Yeah,
and also
they don't exist
Also, those
in
are
your deck,
mostly kind of lame.
Yeah, they're pretty
except
lame.
Mark Harrigan.
Yeah,
Well,
that was one thing I noticed actually, is a lot of the player card art was like significantly worse than in-game card art.
Yeah, I imagine it's because a lot of the player card art was reused assets.
A lot of it is.
A lot of it is just like things too.
Yes, which you can't really do.
They're like, check
a
out,
lot
it's a
with.
gun. You're like, okay.
So this is I'm very interested to see how this one goes for us as we're talking, because art is one of the most subjective things in the world. So likewise, everyone watching at home, you should let us know what your favorite card art is and why. I think is the biggest reason, because I imagine all of us today are going to have different reasons of why we like the art for each of our choices.
Well,
I'm sure we'll agree on some of them too.
Except for like one of these, definitely.
Yeah.
We made a conscious decision to pick, at least I did, to pick ones that no one else picked, because there's so many arts in the game.
I didn't make that many conscious decisions regarding mine.
Yeah, you just showed up. You were like, oh, what should I pick my 4th and 5th one? And just were like, how about this one or this one? You were like, okay.
Yeah.
I like that one, yeah.
Travis's
Maybe I
list
didn't
was
do
big.
my homework,
Mine was about like 14 cards that I had to cut down. There's a lot of good art in the game.
There's a lot of bad art too.
There's a lot of bad art too. There is, yes.
Especially for the people.
Yes, there's not many allies on this.
No.
No. But we're going to start with Bryn's number 5, which is none other than Drawn to the Flame.
This is just a nice piece of
It is.
Agli Villeneuve.
Yeah.
However you pronounce their name, I probably
Villeneuve.
butchered it horribly.
Yeah, she does a lot. She does a lot of Magic the Gathering art now, but she did all the elves in Lord of the Rings,
Pretty
the
much,
card
yeah.
game.
Pretty near.
One there
She
were
does
like,
very nice art.
Yeah.
She does, yes. Like her art also is very much in her style. This one's actually probably, I didn't even realize this was hers because it's not just a person looking at the camera.
Well, yeah, they're like looking at something else, though. It's just a person looking at something else.
Yes. And anything with Space and Cosmos is pretty high on my list.
If she draws a lot of art of people like looking at the camera, that's probably not her fault.
No, it's what she's. Well, it's like everyone has a style, right? Like they know we're gonna get her to do this character because this is what she does so well.
It depends who if you're a director for Magic, they're like, well, I draw these better. And they're like, no.
Yeah, that's a bit. It's true.
Photorealistic people, same face.
I think this art's great.
This is one of the artworks with a person in it that looks kind of nice.
I think it's also it's interesting to see as kind of just a whole general design of the card. If card art is when it's commissioned beforehand or after, or when they're looking through their design files, how this card would probably look worse on a non-purple frame, right? The art, right? Because it just fits. That's a big thing that's going to happen with a lot of my card selections too. It's like the entire aesthetic of the card completely. This one is not that. This, as you're going through I was going through all the cards, there's a lot of really funny art that I think really fits for the
Some
card.
of them are like intended to be humorous. Some of them they just like, you can tell they were like, we need art for this card right now.
Yeah.
Just go through the extra art file, pull some out.
But Premonition's art, I think, is amazing. 1, she's looking at her own death, so it fits with the flavor of the card really well. 2, the dude eating her is a nightmare creature. He has arms coming out of the side of his head, so that's terrifying. And I think it's a funny card.
I also love her expression. She's like,
oh no!
Yeah, I think the art for this card also fits very well with how things feel when you play it. Like somebody's like, I'm going to try to do this, and if I screw up, I'm going to die. And you're like,
well, let's see if
don't try to do that. You're going to die.
Yeah, let's see if the man eats you. This kind of card kind of fits all of the funny art. I think all the funny art can always sit on my top 5.
yeah.
Right?
It's also like not like aggressively ugly.
No.
I do also like man, like, would you really react like she is, like screaming if you cast like some kind of premonition spell and you saw like weird tentacle dude like drink your blood from your neck like a vampire? Your first thought wouldn't be like, maybe I did it wrong.
Yeah. Well,
this is pretty out there.
At this point, like, she has no, like, this is what she has. Because this is her premonition. Like, she is not as lucky as we are, where we have 3 futures that we can work with.
Yeah.
She has 1, and she's like, I'm going to get eaten by the man.
Yeah, we're like, this is going to fail spectacularly. I guess I'll investigate.
Travis, your number 5 is Fortune or Fate.
This one's really pretty. It's just like a really nice piece of art.
Yeah.
It's very. It evokes the idea of like Eye of the Storm, in which is what the card also does. I really like how the art ties into the effect of the card. Fortune and Fate, like the name goes with it as well. You know, these sailors probably don't know whether it was like they're fated to get through the storm or they're just lucky.
Yeah, and the composition of having the wave coming in the left side of the frame gives a lot
Very
of
like
action
level with
and
the
draws your eye directly to the ship. I think I agree. It's just a very pleasing image, and the slight Dutch angle is cool too. It's kind of crooked. I think it's a nice card.
I actually considered not put. There's one thing I didn't like about this, and it was how like this sort of like blessed moment doesn't happen very often in Arkham, and is kind of against the flavor.
Yeah.
That like the investigators get just a lucky break, because that's not what the story's about most of the time, without the intervention of the occasional god like Nodens or whatever. Most of the time, like you only get through it through like the investigators get through it through sacrifice and like perseverance, and not just like, hey, things worked out good.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's like Nodens is all like, hey, this guy's killing you. Maybe we'll just make him go away. I really like the way you killed those last 6 guys. That was pretty sick.
Sometimes that does happen, but
Sometimes
like it's not
happens.
like a big part of Arkham for me is that you were always unlucky.
Yeah.
The Fantasy Flight stamp on this kind of looks like some Michael Bay lens flare.
Oh yeah, definitely. Bryn's number 4 card is Cunning Distraction.
Delicious chicken.
This,
yeah. There's nothing wrong with this card. Everything about this card is beautiful.
This is a consideration for all of us, I think.
Yeah, it was on my list. Easily, just.
Yeah, you got your cooked chicken.
Yeah, it's a whole chicken too, which makes it
Yeah.
even better. It's just they're like, we have this whole fucking roasted chicken. Let's go.
I've just been carrying this around in my bag in case we needed to throw it to distract some monkeys or something.
Yeah, like it's not even like eldritch monstrosities. It's just like monkeys with wings.
Yeah.
We know like Fantasy Flight had some sort of like Wizard of Oz game, and they're just like flying monkeys. So it's like, you put it in Arkham, it'll work. But the fact that it's a whole cooked chicken is just the funniest thing. Oh man, that card's funny. This card, so Deciphered Reality, goes back to what I was just saying about how the entire frame of the card further amplifies what you have. And the grayscale surrounding the magnifying glass, and then having the very vibrant yellow and the weird coming out of the guy. I think the card just is nice to look at, and it does a good job of drawing your eyes to exactly where it needs to, which is the weird tentacle arms. Yeah.
Yeah, and that note of like what you think about how taking the art as a whole and like how cards look good in certain frames. It's a very big thing I know in, I don't know if they still do it, but like in earlier Magic art design, is something that was very, very important to the previous art director, is that like when you opened up a card of a given color, you knew that it was that color. Like you don't put like bright blues on like black cards or red cards,
Makes sense. Yeah.
You want to look at a red card and be like, yeah, this is red. Same thing for these. Like you look at a yellow card, you're like, this is yellow. You look at Drawn to the Flame, this is purple card.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's very important too. Right. Otherwise, it's kind of like in the back of your head, it'll just feel not good.
It's very important for maintaining that consistency in like the world that you're building.
Yeah, exactly. Travis's number 4 is the Gold Pocket Watch.
This is like a bit of a break of what we were just talking about, considering how it's got a generally yellow theme. But I really wanted to pick one of the cards that incorporated the Elder Sign into it. The star, classic star symbol. Other options, I think, were Lucky Cigarette Case was one. I can't quite remember the other ones, but yeah, no, I really like. I'm a sucker for like yellows and gold colors in art in general. And this is a card that I've never played with, but I do like the idea that it's like, you know, it's a watch that's been enchanted with like the highest good power in the Arkham universe, kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
And you know, it does it and then it breaks.
Yeah, and it does its job well. Like it doesn't need to do anything fancy.
Yeah.
It's not as with some of the other cards we have coming up that are also items that kind of have a similar effect. This one is just a magic watch.
They did a good job of showing that like the power for the watch comes from the Elder Sign itself, and that like the hands of the watch are yellow with the same color as the glowing from the Elder Sign.
Yeah.
There's not many pieces of art that I'm happier to see in this game.
Yeah, you
That was a big thing too. About
Take an
going through
extra turn
cards,
is
it
just
was
sick.
like,
Yeah, it just
yeah.
It's like relief.
Yeah.
It's like drawing. I almost put water protection down. I was like,
Yeah.
I like that card.
Cheers Keepsake, otherwise known as what I first tried to search through as Mr. Potterson.
Mr. Potterson.
I actually put paw into the search engine, nothing came up, so I was like, I know, I'll just put Mr.
Oh, Justin.
Yeah, he's just a teddy bear.
Yeah. Cute card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's often quite comforting to draw because you're like, I'm not going to die this turn.
Yeah.
Probably.
I like how it's the moonlight on him, the light coming in from the doorway. Yeah, it's just a nice nice little piece of art. And the flavor text is also. So get ready, Cheers Keepsake. You're going to be back for when we do the flavor card.
I think part of what like makes, since you guys seem unwilling to talk about it or unable to touch on it, is that like it's a very sort of fuzzy picture. It's a very like watercolory, like those books from when you were a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
And like that really contributes to it's a child's toy, and it provides like sort of a comfort away from the rest of the world, like sort of primal comfort. You know, you're scared, you want to cuddle up to your teddy bear, and it helps you.
Yeah,
keeps you sane.
It also looks like it's in like a boarding house or a hospital, like
an orphanage.
Yeah, or an orphanage. Yeah, and it looks like I also like the how you can see the window frame over the bear breaks it up to make it a little bit less boring.
Yeah, no, the light on it really brings tension. Like, you know, so it's the rest of the room is dark, just like the world, but like you got your little tiny comfort.
Yeah. Number 3 for me is stargazing. This goes back to the whole thing of the cards that fit into their thing. This is just purples, pinks, and blues, and it's also a bit more abstract in its style, which I'm really drawn to. Before everyone started worshipping the man as a god, I really liked in Magic Seth McKinnon's art. Back in 2014, when he just did Rite of the Serpent.
Yeah. Before everyone started sucking his dick.
Yes, so now I'm just like that old man being like, I liked him before he was cool.
Before it was cool.
But the kind of style of like the watercolor look to it, as well as the more abstract part of it, really works for me.
I do definitely prefer the sort of more abstract art for spells like this one, as opposed to things like there's a new Spirit's Edge or something like that from one of the new Dream Eaters packs, and it's like Akachi, and her like arm is just like green and like knife shaped, and I just don't think it looks good at all.
Yeah, they call that spell knife hands.
Yeah, that's what it is. Or like you punch with your brain.
Yeah, the nice thing about art is that it can be abstract like this, right? And sometimes it's better to just live that, right? Because even though this is actually a pretty, it looks like it's just like a person looking at the stars in a snowy landscape.
I mean, that's all that it is.
But like the colors and like how it's drawn is a bit less realistic because it's like minimal in detail. I think it's pretty sweet. My cat's scratching at the door.
Hey,
Travis, bait and switch.
This is my funny one. The big crowd monster's coming out, and he's like, "Where'd you go?" Because it's just like a sack of Tibbs or whatever. And they even, I like how they bothered to dress up in a shirt and like
scarf.
and a scarf, but like, yeah, but
yeah, the scarf especially. I love the scarf. They're like, yeah, you know what this needs? Perfect. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, the monster's like, I'm gonna get him by sneaking up on the lawn chair. He won't notice me at all. And he gets there, and he's just like,
Do you think the monster's upset, or do you think he's happy to eat a bunch of potatoes?
I think he's upset.
Yeah, he's like,
look at him. He's
"No."
already wigging out a bit. He's like, they tricked me. I can't believe I fell for the potato sack with the scarf again.
Again, they played this card twice. They got me again. Yeah, I think it's Red has a lot of the funny art.
Red has a lot.
Well, because it goes to their theme, survival of like doing what they can.
Yeah,
with
like
what
dumb
they
luck
got.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. Bryn's number 2 is Borrowed Time.
This card's art is just sick.
It is cool.
The watch is being taken apart because you can stretch your own time over whatever sort of period you want. If you are moving slow now, you can use it to move fast later.
Yeah,
I like it.
And this goes to the counterpoint of Travis's Golden Pocket Watch. This is an asset, or it's a spell.
It is,
Yeah.
But
it's a ritual.
It's a ritual, but like it's still like has a the whole idea is that there's an item involved with time, and it's just a completely different interpretation of it, which I think is really cool.
Yes.
And there's a lot of action in it. The lines coming out really make it feel like it's.
This one also feels a lot more like a green card.
Yeah, like the art.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Whoa, why number 2?
No, just in the other aspects we weren't talking about.
Until the End of Time. There's a thing in art that just gets me, which is a scale of monsters with lacking detail. So a big thing when I first saw the card Progenitus in Magic, the Far Away one, I was like, my God, this thing's amazing, right? And this kind of follows a similar thing. This card is scary, right? But there's so much power in Calvin standing here that you don't feel as intimidated by the entire rest of the frame, because this thing standing there, well, we don't really know what it is in the lore. It's just a big eldritch monster, which is really cool.
I think it's supposed to be Nyarlathotep, but
everything's Nyarlathotep. So I'm with you on that.
I think that's part of Calvin's backstory.
I'm pretty sure that is part of Calvin's backstory.
Oh, okay, cool.
Where he cuts a deal with the messenger.
Oh, okay. And
yeah, that's what his weakness is, right? It's like called the messenger or something.
So which mask is this one? Because that's...
Either that, it might not be Nyarlathotep itself. It might be just a monster, and Nyarlathotep's protecting him because you're my buddy.
Yeah, but I think the art is just it's menacing, it's powerful, and it's I love just how much dead space there is in the top part of the card to just show that this creature is going even further beyond that.
It's massive, it's scary, but it really shows that comfort and power that this card gives you as Calvin.
Yeah,
if you look in the art, he looks so relaxed.
I actually, so on the...
That's how it feels when you play this card.
Yeah, he's just like, you can't hurt me.
The game's like, I'm gonna kill you, and you're like...
I found the artist's... there's an art station for the page for this, where he has 2 of his preliminary sketches, the approved one and another one, where Calvin is kind of a bit more action-y.
It's ready to fight.
And I think this one is just him just standing there, and he's just like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. And just the monster is, I think it's a really cool, very well done drawing.
It does a very good job of illustrating how it feels to play Calvin, where the game's looming over you the entire time because you're at fucking 1 for the entire game. And you're sitting there literally anything could kill me, but it's not going to, because if it does, then...
Whatever.
Travis's number 2 is the home front.
Classic piece of art.
Yeah.
Mark Harrigan art. This will be when we do our Mark Harrigan video. It's going to be a point for it. Just look how badass he looks. This is this guy is so cool that when they say that cool guys don't look at explosions, this is what the explosion gets to see.
Yeah.
And that's cooler. Just showing just him is cooler than showing him walking away from the explosion.
Yeah, and not only walking away, but just lighting a cigarette. He's like, I'm fucking. The art's great. The composition's incredible. The explosion debris coming in from the right side of the frame is really nice at cutting it up and giving it a bit of texture. And he looks badass, right?
Yeah.
The pose is powerful.
It's so good.
Yeah.
He's got that real relaxed, powerful. This card, it feels really cool to play too, especially when you give it to someone else. You're no, you're gonna pass, you're gonna beat that guy up, and I'm gonna heal. He's gonna take extra damage.
Eric Chance, he does magic too, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. His the lighting in this card is amazing.
It is.
When it comes to the.
I think this is a recycled piece of art.
It is.
This is OG.
This is actual second edition Mark Harrigan.
Yeah, second edition Mark Harrigan.
It's one of the ones that actually still stands up.
Yeah, it's one of the few really good pieces of art from that one.
Charlie Cannon, you're put it in a box.
Yeah. Yeah, there aren't so many the recycled pieces of art that are.
Yeah, everything about this one is good.
Yeah. Bryn's number 1 card is Thud.
I just like this card.
Yeah, it's fun.
The snake guy's like, I'm gonna kill you. The guy off frame's like, what if I hit you with a lead pipe? And the snake's like, my only weakness. Being killed with a pipe.
Yeah, this card's hilarious. This also goes into the thing, but it's also effective, right? If that's funny but also effective, it works really well for it.
I think a big part of what makes these kinds of cards so funny is seeing these eldritch monstrosities and monsters supposed to be so scary, displaying such human emotions.
Yeah.
It'd just be a guy getting hit by the pipe and you'd be like, yeah, that's stunning blow. But because it's a snake man, it's so much more funny.
Yeah. Yeah, because you spend your whole time running away from these. Exactly that. They're human for this one moment. Get hit in the fucking head with a pipe. You idiot. Oh, it's so funny. Good job, Matthew, who drew that. All right, my number 1 is Final Rhapsody.
Of course.
When I saw this card for the first time, I just was like, this is This is exactly what I want from it. There's a lot of good weakness arts for the characters, except for Ashcan Pete. That one's a bit...
Really? Racked by Nightmares?
I don't like it.
I thought that one was not one of the ones I was considering. I thought that was
But that one is just... it's because it's been reused. Like, everything else, like, fits with the character, right? I find, like, it's, like... For the majority, it goes with the character. Like, it was commissioned for them. But that one, I've seen it in previous games, right? So...
I don't think I've ever actually looked at Jim's cards before. But, like, this one has the end times subtype.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. I think just the card is really cool, and it's very because it's kind of the idea of like it's like a vision, right? This isn't actually happening. This card isn't like an actual event that is occurring with Jim right now, where he's drowning in a bog in the middle of nowhere.
Well, it could be,
but it's like that's very likely for Jim. Yeah. But I just love the act, like the desperation in just his hand. The artist did a great job of that, and just like the trumpet is very crucial to Jim's character, and he still sucks, like I'm saying all this like with the idea that I wish he was better so I could draw this card more, but it's also really weak. I mean, like if there's a weakness to draw, it would be this one.
Shell Shock is also pretty dirt.
A lot of horror to you. I think it can deal like 4 usually.
Yeah, 4 is the worst case.
Yeah.
This
but,
one's
like,
actually
it's not going
scary.
to.
Yeah.
Like Shell Shock, I think is much.
Yeah, Shell
softer.
Shock I would say is one of the softest.
Like if that's
unless
gonna...
it's Bryn who's playing Mark Harrigan, because for some reason he's already dead.
Well, that's what I mean. Like if Shell Shock's threatening you, like you're probably already dead.
Yeah, I just think the composition of this card's incredible. The only thing I wish this left tree was a bit more to the left here, so that then these would be perfectly.
It frames the
it a
thing.
bit better. And I like the bug being like. That's probably a mask on Nyarlathotep. He's everywhere. He's in every card art. Did you know that? Speaking of Travis's next card.
There's nothing to do with Nyarlathotep.
Great card. Seal the Elder Sign.
Yeah, this one's really nice. It's like, I like purple cards, and because one thing I really like about purple cards is being able to say no to the game. Things like Warrior Protection, Deny Existence, both of which were cards that I considered for their art, but I decided that I just like the card more than the art themselves. But this one actually has fantastic art, and it's like, not only does it like, the effect, it's a 5 experience card, it deserves a very powerful effect, especially being one-time thing, and the art completely backs it up, right? Like, it's like the power of your magic is carving a symbol into the side of this cliff, and you're just gonna do what you want to. You're like forcing, like Fortune and Fate were kind of, it's just lucky that good things are happening to you. This is like an investigator forcing good things to happen.
I love the expert subtype.
You got me pretty good to
only
do this.
for experts.
Like it is.
Yeah. There's a lot of good composition too. The triangles of the mountain coming down the side, as well as the rain cutting at the other angle.
The bright shock of yellow against like the dark background and the purple border. It's like it does a very good job. Same thing with you see that a little bit in the Golden Pocket Watch as well, where it has a very powerful effect referenced by the star symbol and like golden magic, which seems to be the antithesis to the darker colors of the myth, the emptiness of the mythos.
Yeah. Beautiful art.
Yeah, everything about it is good. It's just it's raining. You imagine it's a bad time, and then like good things happen.
Don't worry, I'm going to carve up this mountain.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Why'd you do that?" It's like, "Cause I can. I'm an expert."
Did you see that?
It says right here.
That was really cool. Did you not see it?
Yeah, but those are our favorite card arts for the player cards. We're going to do the bad cards eventually, and I mean I don't mean that the bad cards and what we think are the bad art, but like the scenario cards and the encounter deck cards. Yeah, that'll be on our list eventually. But I actually would love to know what your guys' favorite art is, because
I would too.
yeah, it's there's a
It's like don't just tell us. You have to tell us why too.
yeah.
If you're just gonna tell us what your favorite art is, don't.
Well, you can still comment, right? But I'll probably then respond with why ? The letter Y, not the word, just to
Yeah, because it doesn't deserve that much effort.
But if you want to talk about how our opinions suck, you can also say that. But once again,
you're wrong.
Yeah, art is subjective. So how can you? I mean, the only non-subjective thing is that art's great.
It is.
Bye, everybody.